before the break, I told you to stick around because I've got the 5 games you cannot miss this week on YSN, as in the 5 games tomorrow you do not want to miss. You want to keep a watchful eye on these games. We'll start off with number 5, and I think this one's a no-brainer. It should probably be a little bit higher, but just in the simple fact that there's no love being given to this game. It's Jackson Milton in Springfield. When you look at Jackson Milton, they're a 2-loss team, and the 2 losses they have were rough. It's Lowellville and Mineral Ridge, and this is a team that you want to believe in. You want to get behind. You want to be excited about, and you can be. Alex Schiavi, one of the best quarterbacks in the entire area. But at the end of the day, I think Springfield's going to pose a problem. I think Springfield is going to pose a big problem for Jackson Milton. And Springfield, I told you, I'm not picking against him. The rest of the year started off 0-4, and I think they finished 6-4 on the season and are comfortably into the playoffs. Jackson Milton started off hot and right now are just trying to find themselves again, trying to find that go-to that they've had all year. And this would be a huge win for Jackson Milton. Probably a lot bigger for Jackson than it would be for Springfield at this point. But at the same time, I think Springfield, they're just on another level. Sean Guerrero has done an unbelievable job. Colton Rourke has found himself as a quarterback, and I think he finally realizes, and a lot of people realize, that he doesn't have to be Bo Brungard in order to be a successful quarterback in the Sean Guerrero system. And he's finding all kinds of receivers out there in Tiger Nation. So I think this is going to be a game you do not want to miss. I don't think it's a blowout by any stretch of the imagination, but you never know with these. You never know. It should be some good weather tomorrow night, but keep your eye on this game for sure as our number 5 game to watch on your sports network. Let's catch up on the comments real quick. We have it. Warm ginger brandy. And we know who that is. Oh, gosh. Put a shot in the microwave and just sniff the vapors. Ugh. Rough skating there, Mr. Tattoo. So let's get to the number 4 game. Crestview and Champion. Okay. So a lot of you guys are going to sit there and say, Crestview's only a 2-win team. Champion just lost to Camel. Find me a game that there's more on the line in our slate of games than this one right here. Because Crestview, as we talked about yesterday with Richie, still projected to make the playoffs as the number 16 team. Crestview, they've got to get it done against Champion. It all starts tomorrow night. Throw the records out the window. Doesn't matter. They've got to get the job done tomorrow night. And, they've had a tough go at it from a schedule perspective. They've had a really tough go at it. And Coach Cusick, I know, incredibly frustrated. And I know Champion is incredibly frustrated on their side. Who is going to pull together faster? Who is going to put everything, whatever they're going through, internal stuff in the locker room, who's going to put it to the side and get the job done and set themselves up for week 11? I'm so interested in this game. This might be one of the ones that I put on instead of Audible Call, because this game to me is that important for both teams. This is a win by any means necessary game. And I really think this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight here at number 4. So should be probably a little bit higher, but there's some good games this week, I told you. All right, so at number 3. I mean, we talk about the NE8 a ton, right? We love the NE8. this is going to be a great NE8 matchup between Girard and Struthers. Girard, a team that everybody believed in, played South Range, nobody believed in, and now everybody's back in. Once Bengala, unfortunately went through his injury. He's out for the year, or so we hear. We don't like to speculate on kids. We wish him well, but nobody's on the Girard train anymore. I mean, you're just kind of looking around, like, where'd everybody go? Big win, everybody's back. But now, and I'm going to say this because I know who's out there listening, Struthers has been the most impressive, scrappy team this year. They've been in the most games. I mean, they're a field goal or something along those lines, like overtime games away from being arguably one of the best teams. And they've given the best fight to South Range, which is, if you watch this show, they are the creme de la creme. They are the juggernaut. And there's a lot of people that said, oh, well, that's just South Range falling off. Can we give credit to Struthers in that? And there might have been a little bit of rust in a bad week of practice, but at the same time, give credit to Struthers because they put it together. And yes, they lost by 10. There's a lot of nerves going in Raider Stadium that night. I can promise you that. Number 3 game to watch is Girard and Struthers. You do not want to miss this game. This is going to go a long way in this conference in the NE8. And this is the time of year that the NE8 just stands out because it is hard-hitting, slobber-knocker action in the Northeast 8 Conference. Number 2, I think, is going to throw you for a loop. Number 2 is going to throw you for a loop here because Beaver Local and John Hay. Okay. John Hay, Cleveland team, Beaver Local, just trying to find, at that point, anybody they can get on their schedule. I want to say Siggy will tell me who it is, but they had to replace a team. I think it was Edison. That they had to replace, and they end up getting John Hay. John Hay is a team that is impressive on paper, like really impressive on paper. But when you start looking at the opponents and what they've done, I think it's a little bit of fool's gold here, folks. I think it's a little bit of, again, look good on paper. What are they going to look like on the gridiron? And Beaver Local, arguably, playing the best football they've played all year right now. I mean, plays of the week, you got kids that are stepping up. Hard to put your finger on who's the best player on Beaver Local. And I mean that in the most respective of ways. And you want that as a coach. You don't want to say, this is our best player, everybody else is on the fall off. You want everybody to be equal, and the coach that is playing you and preparing to play you has to game plan for everybody. Everybody. So you got Klein, you got White, you got the bearded warrior, the receiver. He's incredible. He doesn't get near enough. I want to interview that kid. He's amazing. You look at Beaver Local. This team is making a push. There was a ton of people when Beaver Local showed up in our top 10 to start the year, just crapping all over that pick. They're not on our power rankings right now, but I would argue that they should be. They have handled business. Coach McKenzie runs a tight ship out there. And he made the kids quickly realize either we load up and we go to war, or we pack it up and we move on. And if you've ever been around Coach McKenzie, you know there's not a whole there. He doesn't pack a white flag to wave at any point in his career. I'm excited for this game. Really excited. Here we go. Siggy's on it. Yes, huge game. A lot on the line against the unknown. Replaced Martin's Ferry. That's who it was. I apologize. Ferry dropped them late. Had to pick up John Hay, which may turn out to give them 2 home games with a win. I mean, that's what you want. You heard Coach Wright talk about it. You know, he wants those 2 home games. Everybody wants those 2 home games. You don't want to go on the road. You don't want to go on the road until you have to. That's in week 12. Wait, 13. Excuse me, 13. You want to keep as much close. I mean, sleep in your own. Obviously, they all sleep in their own bed, but you know, all the stuff that you go through on a regular home game. You know, playing on your home field, not having to ride the bus, which is bigger than you think, folks. It's bigger than you think. Because we've seen some of this travel. Some of this travel is going to be 2-3 hours. And it's not right for these kids. It's not right at all. But it's the way things are set up. When you have 16 playoff teams, welcome to the party, pal. So check out Beaver local John Hay this Friday, tomorrow, right here on YSN. The number 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it should not be a shock to you. We've been talking about it all week long. My number 1 game to watch, Lowellville and Mineral Ridge. Something about Ridge this week. I just feel like their back's against the wall. They're a wounded animal. And there's nothing more deadly than a wounded animal. Because they don't take your feelings into consideration. They don't care where you're ranked in the state. They don't care they just don't care. And what I love about Ridge is, how do I say this? There's a confidence, borderline confidence and arrogance, which I love. Don't take that as a hit. I love that Ridge brings to the table. People are going to sit there and say that Ridge is a heavy dog in this game. I think they were listed at 7 when I checked last time. I don't know. I got them at even. I think this is a huge test for Lowellville. I think there's an opportunity for Lowellville to also get more people on that bandwagon. Vinny Ballone's having a stellar year. There's nobody that's going to take that away from him. Banovsky, he's been incredible. Luceni has been incredible. You go up and down. Lucido, incredible. But at the end of the day, you're playing at Ridge. Ridge is going to try to slow things down. Slow it down. Manage the clock. I mean, how do you beat Tom Brady? You don't give him the ball. And what does Ridge do exceptionally well? They run the ball. Ian Erb is one of the best running backs in this entire valley. I'm pretty sure he's closing in, if not already at the 1,000-yard barrier. He had 800 and some odd yards last week going into that game. We'll get an update tonight. But show me where this isn't the best game. Show me where this isn't the game, not with the most on the line. Because I think both of these teams, I hate to say it, go to the playoffs. Because I hate getting ahead of myself. But they're both projected to. But at the end of the day, it's Vinny Balone and his crew against Tristan Valley and his crew. This is going to be a dogfight. I promise you that. I would be very, very surprised if there was a blowout one way or the other. Very surprised. Like, shocked. Shocked. Utterly shocked if this was more than a 10-point game at any juncture. I'm excited to talk to Ridge tonight because I know what Lowellville is. They're a monster. Absolute kraken. But Mineral Ridge sees that too. They see the write-ups. They hear about it. And I think they're standing there holding the bag saying, what about us? They have nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. I'm excited for this game. Comments real quick. Steve Laszlo, Brookfield. Oh! I missed it, Steve. I missed it. That's on me. That's a great game. That's a great game. I apologize. I don't even know where I would put that. Probably 3A, 2A, something like that. I mean, I still think Lowellville and Ridge get the one spot. But that would be I hate to even say it's an alternate, but that's a great game. Great game. Great call. Thanks for keeping me in check there.